Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses, and today we have another bike from Moto Morini that I've been very much looking forward to riding. So let's roll the intro and get cracking. The world has been pleasantly surprised by the amazing Escape 650, but now we have a bike that is set to rival the £8,500 75 brake horsepower Ducati 800 Scrambler, the £9,900 64 brake horsepower Triumph Scrambler 900, and the £7,300 40 brake horsepower Fantic Caballero 500 Rally. I mean, technically, looks-wise, you could put it in the same category as the BMW 9TR Scrambler. However, that is a 1200cc, it does have 110 horsepower, and it is 11.5 grand. So, no. I am, of course, talking about this, the Moto Morini Seiemmezzo SCR 650. Roll the cinematics. Now, first of all, I want to address the name. Very Italian, obviously. However, it is spelt S-E-I-E-M-M-E-Z-Z-O. Could you not think of a slightly more dyslexic-friendly name to call it? Seiemmezzo sounds okay, but why do you need two E's? S-E-I-E. Why is that necessary? Two M's and then two Z's. Simplify it or call it something else. Maybe I'm just being fussy, but what a name, eh? The Moto Morini 650 Scrambler uses the same 649cc parallel twin 8-valve double overhead cam liquid cooled engine as the Escape, developing 60 brake horsepower and 40 pounds-foot of torque, using Bosch fuel injection system, and giving a top speed of 105 miles per hour. And I have to stop calling it a 650, it's a 6.5, which is a 650. Suspension is by way of 43mm upside down adjustable K-Arbor front forks and adjustable K-Arbor cantilever monoshock. Brakes are by Brembo using ABS, with two 300mm front discs and a 255mm rear. Wheels are 18-inch on the front, 17-inch on the rear, using Pirelli MT60 RS tyres, 120 up there and a 160 back here. And this is a rather sizable tank at 16 litres. Dimensions are as you would expect really for this type of bike. 2.1 metres long, 890mm wide, so it is quite a wide bike. 1.15 meters tall. Now, wet weight, you're looking at 210 kilos, and the seat height is only 810 millimeters. Now, I am 5'10.5" with a 31.5-inch inside leg, and I am very comfortable on here. It's got a little bit of bounce. It feels very comfortable. The seat feels very comfortable. I've got a slight bend in my knee. I'm wide enough to be away from the pegs if I want to, and I'm still flat-footed. Very comfortable. Now, what I like so far is that I've got really good visibility out of the longer stalked mirrors, and as you know, that's a bit of a bugbear for me, mirrors where you can see 3/4 of an arm. So I'm looking forward to taking this out on the road. Now, before we do take it out on the road, let's have a closer look at the bike. You've got a nice alloy swing arm on there. I'm undecided about that exhaust. I'm not a fan of those, but you know, we'll see how it sounds. I like the overall design. I think it is a beautiful bike, absolutely stunning. I am impressed with the way everything's put together. That is a lovely bit of machined alloy there on that foot peg hanger. The welds are lovely, very nice indeed, very well built frame there. Everything just looks neat and clean and really nicely made. There's nothing cheap, there's no blobs or bits hanging off. It just feels nice, really nice indeed. Now, I'm not a fan of these rear number plate brackets, but I see their purpose when you've got a bike this style. But again, they've made this look pretty, shall we say. Very nicely made, very nicely designed. Now, let's take a moment to discuss these looks. Now, as you know, looks are subjective, but to me, this is absolutely stunning. I love the look. I love this Scrambler look. It's beefy, it's cool, it's got chunky tyres, it's got a massive tank, and I absolutely love this colour. Now, there are other colour options, and I'll talk to you about them at the end, but this green, it's got that Triumph feel about it, or a bit of Moto Guzzi perhaps. I really do love that green, sort of a gold tinge metallic green. Very nice indeed. And this little mudguard at the front here, very nice touch, lovely, chunky, big single light with an LED and obviously a very bright light. But I also like these little indicators. Very neat, very nicely done. Really impressed. The switch gears are the same as you would find on the Escape. Easy to use controls with the functions for the screen on here also. The dash is slightly different when you turn it on. You've got the Moto Morini symbol come up. And the nice 6.5 Seiemmezzo, that looks nice. Now, you've got two different dash types. It's currently in STR mode, so this is the dash you've got here. Miles over here, rev counter obviously in the middle, fuel gauge, how many miles of fuel you got left. However, using the switchgear settings, you can go into the settings here like so, go down to display, view, and then change it to the Scrambler settings. And then back again, and it changes the way the dash is laid out. So this is the Scrambler look, and the other one was the street look. So let's turn the bike on, have a listen, and have a look at the lights. Now, the lights are not as straightforward as you think. Now, when you first turn it on, you've got your DRL around the outside. However, if you turn the lights on, you get a brighter DRL, but that won't work with the main light if you start the bike. Let me show you. You start the bike. See, it still remains with a big DRL. So if you turn the lights off, the main light comes on, and then you've got your high beam, low beam, and a dull DRL. Let's have a listen to it. Ooh, it backfires. Oh, I like that. Okay, let's see how bright these indicators are. Oh wow, very bright actually. God, was not expecting that. Let's take a look around the back. So there's your light on the back there. Quite a neat little light, and your brake light. Nice. And your indicators again. Nice and bright. Yeah, very small, very subtle, but certainly do the job very well. I'm not listening. Oh, that sounds raspy, ready to go. Nice. Right then, let's get my gear on and get out on the road. I certainly am looking forward to this. I hope I'm not disappointed. Let's see how we do here. Thank you. Oh, it's got a little bit of poke. And traffic jam to sit in, which is nice. That gives me a chance to show these slow speeds. Very good balance. Only just to put my foot down because I was nearly about to stop. Other than that, that's nice. So at these slow speeds, very good balance. Not getting any negative feedback from these tyres. The handlebars, even though they sound wide, feel fine actually. Excellent brakes. Really pleased with this balance. It feels so light. It doesn't feel heavy at all. The sun is at its worst. Oh my god. Dash is nice and clear. Visibility out of the mirrors is fantastic. You can see very clear. Very clear. The sun is horrible. It's got a good response low down. Yeah, it's got some poke. It's ready to go. Very positive gear change. You do feel quite low in the bike, but not so it feels odd. Makes it really manageable. See what it's like on pull away, how smooth the gear change is. Response, nice pickup, very smooth, very light gear change, very simple, pleasurable acceleration. You know, it's not going to set the world alight with its power, but it's a 650, 60 brake horsepower. I'm currently sitting in, see anything, these cables possibly in the way of the dash, maybe just move those a little bit. Currently sitting in 5th gear, 40 miles an hour, doing 3000 RPM. Very simply, let's put it in 6th. Yeah, still does it. Just slow to 35 for a second, and it's 6th gear. It chugs a tiny bit, but it still pulls away. But no worries about that. It's so light. I can't get over how light it feels. It doesn't feel like a 210 kilo bike. It's very easy. Love that gear change. Very precise, very easy to maneuver in and out of gear. Simple bike to ride. So the handlebars don't feel too wide, they feel just right. The seating position is nice and it's extremely comfortable. Forgiving seat. As I say, fantastic visibility out of the mirrors. There's no vibration at this sort of speed. Got a good clear view of the road. Yeah, very nice. Temperature gauges to see on there, fuel gauge. I know what it is with bloody traffic lights in this town. Oh, nice little burble from the gear change there. It is a nice easy acceleration, so it's not going to pull your arms off, and you're not going to wheelie unless you give it some beans from the off, I guess. But it really picks up well. Now obviously this engine has been tried and tested based on the Kawasaki R6 engine, the CF Moto 650, as used in the Escape, as used in the CF Moto, funny enough. And it is thoroughly enjoyable. We'll see what it's like when we get up to dual carriageway speeds in a minute. Oh yeah, it's feisty. Of course there are faster bikes. Of course there are more expensive bikes actually. But I am impressed so far. If I was to have one negative, and it's not really a negative, it's at slow speeds you can get a tiny bit of snatch from the initial acceleration, but I guess that's just getting used to knowing how much to twist that throttle, because I twist it a bit more than I perhaps should maybe. But it's a little bit snatchier, but I'll try and be a bit smoother in a minute and see if that makes a difference. Other than that, no worries, can't see a thing. Excellent. Right, I'm sorry if the sound dips out, I'm not going to talk much, but let's see what it rides like down here. That was easy. Wow. Well, I can confirm at, let's say, decent running speeds, it's very well planted. We get no vibration, we get no dip in throttle response, no dip in acceleration. It is unbelievable on the acceleration for what the bike is and how big the engine is. Really pleasing. Let's take it down some back roads. That was a surprise. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Oh, this is feisty. Oh my god. Please don't tell me I've got to buy one of these. Really? Moto Morini, what are you doing to me? Wow, this is so much fun! Oh, I love this! Oh, this is really nice! Soaks up the bumps really nicely. You don't notice the bump. Obviously you're on a bumpy road, you don't really notice them. You can hear in my voice that it's not a problem. Easy gear change. It's got a nice sound to it as well, compared to, well, considering the fact that it's got a Euro 5'd exhaust on it, which, let's be honest, are crap. That, I suppose, is my only criticism. The exhaust looks a bit crappy. Don't like the look of the bland underbike exhaust. They do it on so many bikes these days, it's par for the course, but it's just not something I like at all. Turn around here, and really good brakes. Right, slow speed balance. Oh wow, simple. Easy. That is really responsive for the type of bike it is. Oh, I would say that's quicker than the Escape. Great throttle response. That is brilliant. Oh my god, I love this. Oh, I need one of these. With a little blaster. This is perfect. So much fun. Right, what can I complain about? The only thing is that tiny little bit of snatch, say on the low revs, a little bit of snatch in the throttle response. But I think that's just getting used to it. It's not something that's putting me off, and it's not upsetting. There isn't an eco mode or a sport mode in this, it's just go. And it does it so very well. It feels solid, it feels quality. It really does feel as though it's got really good quality. Nothing rattles, nothing creaks, nothing feels weird. Everything just feels really good. Really good brakes, Brembo brakes. I don't have anything to complain about here. So if anything, the only thing I can complain about is the look of the exhaust. But I'm very sure there'll be some aftermarket exhaust coming for this before too long, especially as the bike's Italian in its heritage anyway. Let's pull over and have a look. Cracking little machine, really responsive, sharp brakes. That is so pleasing. God, I love that. I love the look, I love the way it rides, I love the way it feels. Oh wow. Oh, Moto Morini, I hate you. Costing me money now, I want one. So then, let's have a little sum up of the Scrambler. Well, oh, lovely hot cup of tea. I absolutely love it. I've got no problems with it at all in the way it rides, the way it looks. I love the way it looks, especially in this green. Although there is a slight problem with that colour, and I'll tell you about that in a second. Nothing dramatic, don't worry. The only thing I don't like about it is that exhaust. Now, looking at the exhaust, you've got the big box underneath, and then you've got a small pipe that comes out and goes round. And then the heat shield. So the heat shield's pointless, because it's just for aesthetics. It doesn't really do anything. I mean, it does in the way that it stops you burning your leg, but not that you would, because it comes here and then into the heat shield and your foot's here. So it doesn't really. I just think they could have done something better design-wise with a tailpipe rather than just massive box, exhaust pipe, heat shield. But that's just a niggly thing, and I'm hoping an aftermarket exhaust will come for it where that will render that irrelevant. So that's it really. Now, what about colours? Well, they've got three colours. One is night black, another one is blue storm or storm blue, and the third one, which is this colour, is called navy green. Now, I don't know which navy is green, or what part of navy is green, but surely that should be army green. Navy's blue. But anyway, that's what they've called it, and I don't quite understand why. I love this green. It's almost like a green with a goldish pearl in it, and it looks phenomenal, especially with the brown seat. But the big question is, how much is it? Well, it's £7,299 on the road with a 3-year parts and labour warranty. Now, servicing. First service is due at 600 miles or 1,000 kilometres, which I know sounds early. And every service after that is then 3,700 mile intervals. Now, there's two things about that. One, yes, it's quite often, so you will be paying for a service more often, but that also means your bike will be checked a lot more regularly by a professional or a quality retailer that sells the bike, so knows all about it. I understand that with the bigger mainstream brands, the servicing is further apart. However, you've then got to pay main dealer prices to get it serviced. And also, that doesn't mean that your bike is checked as regularly. A lot of people, where they've got like 10,000 mile service intervals, if they're doing not many miles a year, will take it in for an annual service anyway, especially when you get into a £7,000 650 motorcycle. So it's got its good points and it's got its bad points, but I think, to be honest, and I'm not just saying this because I sell them, I think the good points certainly outweigh the bad points as far as that's concerned. As far as the bad points on the bike, I can't seem to find any other than that exhaust, and really that's just an aesthetics thing. And that brings me to the end of this episode of Motors for the Masses. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back next time with its twin, the street version, so stay tuned for that one. And then we'll be back with other stuff as well, so stay tuned for that also. If you want to subscribe to this channel, if you haven't done so already, please click the subscribe button and the notification bell for future videos. If you want to support this channel, you can do through Patreon or through our merchandise Facebook shop. Links are in the description below. If you don't, then thanks for watching, and I'll be back very soon with something else. So until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye.